Welcome to the Parenting in the Digital Age podcast. Many parents are concerned that their child might be falling behind. Others are just looking for ways to help their children thrive, not just in the classroom, but socially, and well into their future careers. Each episode, we explore the challenges facing parents in the modern world, from behavior, education, and nutrition to device and gaming addiction. We interview a range of leaders in the area of childhood development to help you successfully navigate parenting in the digital age. Here is your host, Jamie Buttigieg.
Hello parents, and welcome to another episode of Parenting in the Digital Age podcast. Today I'm excited to have two extraordinary guests with us who bring unique perspectives on positive online behaviour and combating cyberbullying. Very, very important topics in the digital age, protecting our kids and protecting each other, even as adults, in this digital space. Our first guest is Amber Flores, a dedicated mentor with a diverse background that spans across the Air Force and now in recruiting. And joining her is Anvita Ambardekar, a high school sophomore from Southern California, who serves as the lead public relations intern at Digital for Good and I Can Help, two organizations doing impactful work in this digital space, protecting kids of all ages across the planet. Anvita is a passionate advocate for digital safety and has been at the forefront of initiatives promoting positive online behaviour and combating cyberbullying. Through her work, she's made a significant impact on creating safer digital environments for students. Let's dive right in and have this important conversation.
Amber and Vita, welcome to the show today. Please start by sharing with our listeners a little bit about what you do and what you're passionate about, especially as it relates to Digital for Good and I Can Help.
My name is Anvita, and I am a high school student in the Los Angeles area. And so I've been with Digital for Good, #I Can Help, for 3 years now, and I am the seasonal head of people, so I lead a team of multiple teams of college students and kind of just overseeing them. And I'm just, passionate about kind of doing volunteer work and then just giving back. It's something that brings me a lot of satisfaction, and I love to do it.
Thank you, Amber.
Yeah. My name is Amber. I have been with Digital for Good for a couple of years now. Both of us working with Anvita, so it's just been such a pleasure. But I am really passionate about giving back to my community. I think in working with students and the younger population is really getting back and setting ourselves up for future, because they are our future. That's really, truly where, my passion comes, and just helping as a mentor. It just feels like so lower, and it's so meaningful for me.
I couldn't agree more. Wonderful sentiments. Amber, can you maybe describe a little bit about your role as a mentor within the organisation? What does that mean? What does it look like?
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like, I'm doing a whole lot of work, but in all honesty, I am ears. That's it. I'm ears, and I have to share these fantastic ideas with these students now. I get to give them a positive nudge and then watch them go off and do their great things. And that's just fantastic. I really, truly, and I just listen. I listen, and I support her, and then I encourage her. And they have brilliant ideas. They just need someone to take that to, right? Like, does it sound good? Is this in line with all of the things that they're supposed to be doing? And they know, and they go and they do great things, but it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, it certainly is. And Vita, maybe help our listeners understand what is I Can Help and Digital for Good.
Yeah, for sure. So, our organization, we're a nonprofit organization based here in the United States. We are primarily serve in the United States, but we do have interns internationally, and we do workshops and webinars that are international collaborations. And we are a student-focused and student-led nonprofit, so all of our content is made by students for students. And we have kind of 3 branches of our organization. So we have our Educate branch, which is where we go out and do trainings and presentations to various schools, conferences. And then we have our Engage part, which is our monthly webinars and our annual summit. And then we have our Empower branch, which is our internship program that me and Amber are both part of. And then all of our students, we have a lot of different teams like PR and graphics and things like that. And we collectively work together to produce all our content and organize events and things like that. And our primary goal is fighting back against digital negativity. Social media is such an increasing platform that people use. And there's so many amazing things that can be done on it, but there's also some negativity. So we want to combat that and make sure it's a positive and safe place for everyone.
Well, it's an important mission and some important work you guys are doing. Great to see it's a student-led organisation. That's incredible. I wasn't aware of that coming onto the call, and that excites me to no end. The question for you both is, what are some of the biggest challenges you see in the digital landscape today for students?
I think for me, I'm not an avid user of social media, actually. So I think I see that difference between myself and my peers. So a lot of times I think it's tying your self-worth to your social media account. So how many likes you get or how many comments or the negative comments, like tying your self-worth and how good you are to that.
Yeah, Amber, would you add to that?
Yeah, I think it's the long-term piece, right? Where if in the short term it's the likes and the like, are you feeling good about yourself as a teenager, right? But long term, it comes down to the communication piece and the relationship building, and what do your relationships look like in real life that are not on social platforms? I had talked about all day, but it's a huge hindrance to a lot of things, and people just in general, not just students, right? People in general have that lack of ability to communicate, and it's really scary.
Yeah. Often the cards are stacked against our kids, right? Because
Yes.
These social media giants and software and tech companies, they're not all villains, by the way, but certainly it is designed to pull you in, create a chemical response within the brain and keep you addicted onto these platforms. And it can be very, very difficult once people get attached to social media, myself included. I mean, I use social media for business and then find myself 15 minutes later lost down a feed of, something's somewhere I shouldn't be, right? It's not related to my work.
Absolutely.
And there are so many. Go ahead.
It's a slippery slope where it doesn't matter which social media platform. I find myself in a professional site helping job seekers, and I tell them, we talk LinkedIn and things like that, and I talk to job seekers about even LinkedIn. At the end of the day, in a social media platform, it will suck you in and stitch you right back out, and you've wasted an entire day rather than job seeking. So, it's across all platforms. It's scary.
So true. And there are many aspects to digital safety that I don't think our kids are right across. And this is the good work you guys are embarking on in your communities. You've got cyberbullying, privacy and security, the digital footprint, predators, so online predators, managing their content. And if they are using social media, how do they responsibly do that? And then how they communicate on the internet so that they are keeping each other safe, stopping some of that negativity and or bullying, if you like, I suppose. So I don't know, this is maybe a broad question, but Anvita, tell us about one of the programs that you run specifically within Digital for Good that addresses some of these things in schools.
So our main program is where we go out and do trainings and presentations to middle schools and high schools, or at leadership conferences. These oftentimes our executive director, Kim Carr, she is the one who facilitates these. And then oftentimes we have students that go and present alongside her. Because students are the first ones who see things on social media. When something goes up, they're the first ones there. So we want to train them to be digital first responders and be able to, if they see something negative, not fuel it further. And so that's kind of our main program. And then in terms of what interns do, our biggest event of the year is our annual Digital for Good Summit. It usually takes place around Safer Internet Day in February, and we always partner with some tech company. This past year, we were at Google in New York City, and we bring in about 8 students who have their own projects or organizations and are using digital technology for good, and we want to give them a platform to share what they're doing and kind of just spread the positivity that is going around on social media. And then we also include like panel discussions and then more kind of digital safety training throughout that. And it's a chance where students get to connect with each other, and then also with these tech companies like Google or Snapchat, so that they are getting feedback from the students who are like the most avid users.
That's incredible to be able to have a lines to those social media companies, and for them to actually be actively listening, or hopefully actively listening, is quite a big thing. Parents, I think, are getting more tech savvy, particularly some of the younger parents I see out in our own organisation and around our communities. But I still think there are many parents that just don't know where to start. You know, they perhaps, I won't say empower their kids with social media, but they've perhaps allowed social media to occur. You know, kids can be quite persuasive, and maybe it starts out quite innocently. But I think then when it gets out of control, parents lack the tools to be able to maybe help and empower their kids to proactively manage their social media usage. So what are some practical tips, anything that you recommend to parents to help their children navigate this digital world safely?
So the biggest thing is parents and their students being on the same page. What we like to say is that like between our students and mentors, where it's not like one knows more than the other. We're constantly teaching each other things, and we're all on the same page. Like, students are the first to see new features that come out on apps, but our mentors and parents are the first that, you know, maybe see some sort of issue or cyberbullying or something like that with their child. So we want to be on the same page. And then kind of just facilitating that discussion between parent and student in a fun way that's not boring or like it feels like it's getting a little bit intense, but just opening up that conversation and being able to talk about social media and kind of the realistic consequences, but also like in how many ways it's an amazing tool that connects so many people.
Yeah, and it's important to have I think, start these open discussions early. You know, some of the feedback I hear from parents is that, you know, they've allowed their child to have the social media or the online gaming social aspects for so long that they find it hard to then start having those conversations, or their child is resistant to having those conversations. So what do you recommend to maybe a parent, maybe an older parent who's in that situation where perhaps they haven't had the relevant or necessary conversations, it hasn't perhaps been an open household or environment, and maybe the tech usage is out of control? This is something we're seeing quite a lot of, particularly in our communities. Any advice to those parents? How do you regain control, is a word, or how do you empower your kids to come out of that?
I mean, obviously people have like different parenting and styles, but for me personally, what would be the most effective is if my parent told me, which is like, hey, you know, what you do on social media now might impact you 10 years later when you try to get a job. Like, that would scare me so much. I would be like, okay, you know, take a step back. But I think kind of based on like what situation you're in, kind of revolving around the consequences of social media, and then just promoting like the positivity too. Like, we don't want to focus on the negative things. So trying to be like, hey, you know, just stay away from the negative drama and things that happen, because when you even just like a post or comment on a post that is, you know, negative or inappropriate, you're saying that you approve of it indirectly. That's something that I think not a lot of students are aware of. I feel like if the majority of students become aware of this, it would just by itself be a big step in empowering them with that information. And that's our main goal, is to provide both parents and students with this information so that they can use social media wisely.
Yeah. I think you're a wonderful exception to the rule, Anvita, and I think you've been raised exceptionally well. For many young people I know, even my own kids, if I said, think about what this is going to do in 10 years to you, most of them, because of the conditioning and the way that social media is built, most of these young people are thinking 5 minutes ahead, right? You know, they're just looking for the next dopamine hit or the next thing that they're interested in, I suppose. Maybe that's not the best way to word that, but many don't have a long-term view. So well done to you and certainly to your parents. Amber, maybe a question for you. Earlier it was mentioned about the Digital First Responders program. Can you tell me a bit about what that is exactly and maybe who can get involved in that?
You know what? I'm definitely gonna let Anvita talk about that one for sure.
Go ahead.
So our Digital First Responders is not necessarily a program. It's what we empower students to be, students and parents to be. So through our presentations and trainings, we empower them to be digital first responders so that when they see that negative post or negative comment on social media, they can respond to it. I mean, and if they feel comfortable, obviously, that, hey, this is not right, it's not right. And then when a certain amount of people do that and report the post, it gets taken down. And we've seen that power through our organization. When someone finds a post that is not very positive, they just send it through our channels and it's taken down within a couple of hours. And it's very incredible to see how that happens when so many people are contributing to the effort. And maybe Amber, you want to add something?
Yeah, you just cut out the last 5 seconds there, but I think I got the majority of that. So digital first responder is more a movement. Would you say that?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I love this, love the concept. I love that idea. And at the conclusion of this, I want to talk to you about these programs in Australia. I think if you're not running them already, I want to figure out how to get these programs over here and into the hands of parents and young people. I'm curious, how do you measure the impact of programs on students and communities?
I think, Amber, you want to go ahead and take this one?
How do we measure the impact? You know, I feel like as a mentor, I have an interesting and maybe a different perspective than Anvita as a student because she sees and like has so much more interaction than I do. Like Brass focused so small with my specific team that I work with. But for me, like seeing the impact is really seeing the growth of these kids, right? And seeing them get themselves into the community and seeing them be proactive and all of the things that they are doing. And really, like, as a mentor, if I can make a difference and help one student, that's amazing. If I can help a team of 4, like, that impact is even better, right? Like, from a student perspective, Anvita has so many ways that she can share impacts and that sort of thing. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Our primary impact that we see a lot of times is before we go to a school and do a presentation, there's a fake page or maybe a page that's making mean comments about teachers, something along that line. And then afterwards, it gets taken down very quickly and is often replaced by a page that's like share kind quotes or something like that. So that's one of the like very direct and immediate transformations that we can see.
That's incredible. That's an incredible transfer because I've seen pages like that, and I get very concerned when I see our educators do a tremendous job, and I get that sometimes that I was a student and a child myself that these things might seem funny at first, but they can be tremendously devastating emotionally and mentally for those educators involved. So that's a great outcome. So what are some of the resources available? So if I'm a teacher listening right now or an educator in the system, are there resources that we can tap into through Digital for Good and I Can Help?
Yeah, for sure. So we have webinars and trainings online, especially since you're based in Australia. We have online things for an international platform, and then we have curriculum that you can get from us online, like slideshows, posters, things like that, and that kind of you can present them at your own schools or institutions. And we have different courses for admin and educators, parents, students, so based on what audience you're trying to target for.
Yeah, incredible. Maybe, a question for either of you, I suppose. Are there some signs that parents could look for if they suspect their child is struggling with digital safety?
Yeah, so you can always DM our account. It's I Can Help Official on Instagram. We do get a lot of DMs requesting help with cyberbullying or something like that. And then there are other resources like, well, this is for the US, but there's like the National Suicide or Crisis Hotline and things like that that are always there to text or call. I'm not so sure about Australia, but there's also other other institutions that you can reach out to. I'm not sure about digital safety, but when it comes to like mental health or something, similarly, we do that for digital safety where you can DM or email us, and then we'll get you connected with either one of our mentors or interns or something like that, depending on kind of what the situation is and how severe.
That's incredible resource, and this is all run by volunteers.
Yes, we have about 150 students.
Well, that's incredible. Amber, let's go back to mentoring for a minute. Sort of coming full circle. What are some of the challenges you faced as a mentor, and maybe how you've overcome them?
Yes. I feel like in the 2 years I ended up being a mentor, some of the challenges have been sort of like the parenting related myself, right? Because I'm a parent, I feel like I try to convey the same sorts of messages, right? Like I have a 10-year-old, but these kids are just older than that, right? And so being able to kind of like meet the students where they're at and be really understanding that, I'm not there in my parenthood yet, right? With just the 10-year-old, but like learning from this student has been an incredible challenge for me. It's been so insightful at the same time, and it's really presented a very fine opportunity for me to learn lots of things alongside these students in terms of challenges that they face and things that they are battling in a day-to-day, right, that are just so different than when I was a teenager. And so it's been fantastic. It's been really challenging, but it's also been really insightful. So that's it's going to make me a better parent in just a few years once my daughter is a teenager.
That's the thing with community and contribution. It always gives back in unexpected ways. And,
absolutely.
I really admire that. It really is. It really is. So how can perhaps community support initiatives like Digital for Good and the work being done by mentors such as yourselves? Like, I'm just thinking out loud, like I'm a member of a local Rotary Club, and we support lots of youth initiatives in our community and sponsor kids for various things. But, is this something that other organisations in the community can get involved in or help promote? Or this is really just between, you guys in schools and you guys and parents? Is there a part that our community should be playing in helping digital safety for our young people?
I think it is the education piece, honestly, because sure, we can go to schools and we can connect with parents, but really at the end of the day, we want to be able to connect with students where they're at. Does that mean it's a social platform? Does that mean it's in their school, right? Wherever we can meet them, I think it's really ideal.
And just to add on, we're always looking to, partner with other organizations that are doing something great in their own communities. And we're always looking for new interns and mentors to join our team, or even just industry experts who can help us out for a short amount of time. Anyone is welcome to join our mission, and we're always looking for people to join our family.
Incredible work, incredible. So maybe as we round off the podcast, let me come to the question that I ask all of our guests, and I'll give each of you a chance to respond here. If you had a time machine, right, and you could go back to your younger self, normally we say your 12-year-old younger self, what's one piece of advice that you would give your younger self?
Oh, I think I remember. So that's just a few years for me. Just a few years. It was 12 years. I was 12 years old. But advice I would give myself would probably be surround me with kindness, right? Like giving that kindness, and that kindness will also come back, because maybe I could have been more kind at 12 years old, but I didn't know better, right?
Yes.
And for me, I think I would say open up and trust people, because I've always been more of an introvert person. I think when I started like opening up, it was very helpful. That's how you do get involved with things like this. And I think, like Amber said, it gives you so much back to you. And it's, when you think about it, it's always amazing to be a part of it and kind of see where you've gone over the past couple of years.
Yeah, wise advice, theme, wise advice indeed. How can educators, schools, parents get in contact? How can they find you on the internet?
Yeah, our website is icanhelp.net. And you can always DM us on Instagram, I Can Help Official. And for educators, like all of our curriculum is on our website available to look at, and if you wanted to purchase that. For parents as well, we have resources and educational webinars. Those are all free, like the webinars and things like that. And then obviously the internship program for students, that's also available through our website for both high school and college students. So you can always just email internships@icanhelp.net, and we would be happy to find what team is the right fit for you.
Fantastic. Anvita, Amber, thank you so much for joining us today. It's an important message that parents and educators need to hear, and a message that we all need to do more work on as parents and community citizens and the like. So thank you very much for your impact, your generosity and your time today, and I hope we cross paths again soon. Cheers.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
If you enjoyed the show, please connect with Jamie on LinkedIn or Instagram. You'll find links in the podcast description. Parenting in the Digital Age is sponsored by Skill Samurai, Coding and STEM Academy for Kids. Skill Samurai offers after-school coding classes and holiday programs to help kids thrive academically and socially while preparing them for the careers of the future. Visit skillsamurai.com.au.